We are going to make some thumbnails for your abstract expressionism project. So I have here the 3 tones of paper that you will be using for that project. You have a black, a white, and a neutral, and you're going to be using newspaper for that, so start collecting newspaper, but you only need like 1 sheet. Make sure your newspaper has only text. You don't want any color pictures or advertisements like that. Just keep it neutral and text. And so what I have here is 1 thumbnail started or finished, and I want you to have 3 designs that you could possibly turn into your composition. We're doing that because it's good to have options, because if you stop at your first design, you might later regret doing something and think of something else that you wanted to do. And even with 3 designs, you might do that, but it's better to explore multiple options, just to play around with shape and geometry and organic shapes, just to see how they interact with each other, and what you like. So I think I tend to do circular and radial patterns, so I'm probably going to maybe do something similar. I have like something in my mind right now, with squares and circles, but like spiral. So the point of this video is to show you how to do a thumbnail, how to draw it out and imagine it in black, white, and neutral. How I started this was I started with blobs. I started with these neutral blobs, and I drew them all over my paper. Then I made spirals, and I made them all go underneath all of the shapes so that these blobs were on top. And then I picked places where I wanted my blobs to be underneath the black, and I colored over my blobs. Okay, so that's just one way you could do it. Let's try. Another thing to consider is your background can be black, does not have to be white. So you can choose either one of those and then cut your shapes out in either white or black and your neutral. But your neutral will always be part of the shape making over top of your background. I think I want to do circles. So think of the thing that, think of the shape that's going to be weaving in and out of your background or your white or black, right? Think of your neutral shapes. Or maybe your black shapes or your white shapes will be weaving, because those are the shapes you want to draw first. So I think that I'm going to draw circles first, right? And I'm doing shapes that are both organic and geometric. And geometric shapes, again, are man-made. Organic shapes are natural, not man-made. Maybe I want to turn these circles into more blobby shapes. And you can certainly do circles as a part of your design. I just don't think I want to do that. And think about size, right? Maybe not all of your shapes will be the same size. Maybe you'll alter the scale of them. I feel like they're too evenly spaced. And as you do these designs, you will get a feel for, like you're not going to think of, a final design right off the bat. You're probably going to need to play around with it, just like I'm doing right now. Okay, so I envisioned this square spiral, and so I'm going to have it under all of my blobs for now. And I'm going to color it in just so it's better, shows better. And eventually I'll color my blobs in as neutrals. Maybe I want another blob here. I think I want more blobs to fill up my space. Okay. I'm going to continue my spiral. Again, not overlapping my shapes yet. I'll do that at the end because I'm doing that at the end just to get a sense of what the whole composition will look like without the overlapping, and then I'll be able to tell where I want my shapes to overlap or underlap, right? Go under the black or over it. And keep in mind, you're going to have to cut these out, so maybe, if you're not like a detail-oriented person, maybe keep your design more simple, although I encourage you to challenge yourself. Okay, so that's my first one. And now what I'll do, I was going to do this at the end, but is I'll pick places where I want my design to overlap. So I'm going to have it overlap this way. Right, I'm going to finish that shape like that. Where would it land if this blob was not here? And I'll do this one. And I'll do this one. And so now you get the sense that these blobs are weaving through that spiral, right? It's adding some dimension. And I'll do this too. And I'll do this one. Now I have to make up where the shape lands like that. And that. So it's kind of cool. Gives it a lot of interest. Now I'm going to add my other spirals. I think I'm going to do some different sized spirals. I'm going to do one here. It goes all the way in my corner. There's some problem solving that goes on with this project. You have to be very methodical. Take your time. No rush. So I try to alter or like alternate the which blobs, which parts of the blob are being overlapped. Like this, I went under, and then this one, same blob, but I'm going over it so that it looks like the blob is going through the crevice of that spiral. Now I'll do one over here. You want to try to balance the space. Balance is looking at the positive and negative space in your drawing and balancing the amount of it, right? So negative space would be the white, what you're not drawing, and then the positive space would be the pencil, the black. So aim to have a balance of that. Right? If all of your black is over here, all of your white and neutral is over here, it might not look visually pleasing. So consider that. This one I'll go over. I don't usually like to have even numbers, but maybe it will work. And as you're drawing, make sure that you're not smudging your pencil. It's tempting to keep your wrist over the design because it's comfortable, but try not to. Another thing to note is when you're doing your thumbnails, try to draw the shape of the paper, right? Your paper is not square, it's more rectangular, so you want that shape to be echoed. I think this is a little bit short, honestly, my thumbnail. I think it could be longer, but that's okay. Now all of my white blobs are going to be neutral, so I'm going to color them gray just so that I can finish my composition and see how it looks with the neutral in place. Something else I'll do is go over all of my pencil that is black in Sharpie so that I could get a better sense of the contrast, because my pencil is not as dark as my paper will be, right? Here's an example. So it will be much more dramatic against the neutral with a Sharpie. I'm just going really quickly over these. Now if your composition is going to have black in the background, what you would do is draw out all your shapes without coloring them in like I'm doing, and then the background will have black, and then you'll color your neutral. So it's pretty much the same. And it's not any more work than what I'm doing, it's just different, because I feel like there's the same amount of white space as there is neutral and black, but maybe I could be wrong. You can do the same design 2 different times, with one with a white background, one with a black background. Up to you. Okay, I'm going to do my Sharpie now. Or you can use a pen. So different, right? This is a step you don't have to take. I'm just giving you a visual of how it's helping me understand how it might look when it's on, with paper cutting out. Will help me decide which one I like better, or if I've balanced the space well enough. So there's 2 thumbnails right there. And your third one will be next to it. Yeah, so good luck. Have fun with it. Play around with the composition and with different types of shapes and challenge yourself. And I look forward to seeing what you make.